Your HOA has two very different pots of money, and confusing them is how communities quietly slide into financial trouble. One pays for today, one pays for the future. When a board raids one to cover the other, you end up paying for it later. Let me show you the difference and the warning signs to watch for. Every well-run HOA runs on two separate financial tracks, the operating budget and the reserve fund. They serve completely different purposes, and understanding the split is the foundation of HOA financial literacy. Start with the operating budget. This is your community's checking account, money for the recurring, predictable cost of running the place this year. Landscaping, utilities, insurance premiums, management fees, pool maintenance, routine repairs, administrative and legal cost. It's funded by the operating portion of your dues, and ideally, it roughly breaks even each year. Money in, money out, small cushion for the unexpected. Now, the reserve fund. This is the savings account, and it exists for a different job entirely, funding the major, infrequent replacements that a reserve study forecasts: roads, roofs, pool resurfacing, exterior painting, fencing, elevators. These don't happen every year, but they're expensive and inevitable. So the association saves for them steadily over time. Here's the critical rule. These two should stay separate. Operating money handles this year. Reserve money handles the big future projects. When they get blurred, problems are going to follow. Let me give you the classic warning sign. A board wants to keep your dues flat, so instead of properly funding the reserves, they quietly shift reserve money to cover an operating shortfall, or they just underfund reserves to make the operating budget balance. On paper, everything looks fine. Dues didn't go up, but the reserve fund is now falling behind, and that gap, it doesn't vanish. It shows up years later as a special assessment. This is one of the most common ways that communities dig a hole without even realizing it. Another version, an association borrows from the reserves to cover an operating emergency, promising that they're going to pay it back. Sometimes they do. Often the repayment gets delayed and the reserves never fully recover. Some states actually require formal repayment plans when reserves are borrowed against, precisely because this is so tempting and so risky. So why does this matter to you as an owner? Because the health of these two accounts tells you very different things. A tight operating budget means the association is running lean day to day. Worth watching, but manageable. An underfunded reserve means a future bill is building and it's got your name on it. You want to look at both, but the reserve is where the big surprises hide. Here's how you check. Your association's financial statements, they should show operating and reserve funds separately, separate balances, separate activity. If they're lumped together into one confusing number, that's a transparency problem worth raising. You want to see, is the operating budget roughly balanced, and are reserves being funded at the same level that the reserve study recommends? A quick analogy. Think of your own household. Your paycheck covers the monthly bills. That's operating. But you also save for the new roof and the car that's going to eventually die. That's reserves. If you spent your roof savings on groceries every month, your budget would look fine right up until the roof starts to leak. An HOA works exactly the same way, just with a few more zeros. The bottom line, a financially healthy association keeps these accounts distinct balances operating without cannibalizing the reserves, and funds reserves at the recommended level. When you understand this split, you can look at any HOA's finances and quickly tell whether it's built for stability or setting up a surprise. If you want to go deeper, I've got a full reserve fund video and a how to read your HOA financials walkthrough linked right here. Subscribe for more. And if your board is trying to balance both without shortchanging the future, that's what I do at Aligned Impact. I can help. My links are in the description. My name's Jay Boykin, and I'll see you in the next video.